Hey students, today I'm going to do a tutorial on how to create a edit mask and mask out an object from the background. This will go into exercise 2, which is creating a meme, Bernie Sanders meme. As you've seen on the internet, Bernie Sanders is all over the internet with these memes that people created. Although some of them are created with programs, I'd like you to create your own using Photoshop. So basically, to start, I'm going to go into my Google Chrome and I'm going to look for the Bernie Sanders image that was used in those memes during the inauguration. So I'm going to go to images. And if you notice, there's one here. And if you scroll over to the left, you can see it's 2560 wide. So that's a pretty good resolution. 3000 is ideal because 3000 when printed is 10 inches. 3000 divided by 300 dpi is 10 inches. So 2560 divided by 300 is maybe about 8 inches. Yeah, 8 inches or a little more than 8 inches. So oops. I'm going to go ahead and save image as, and then I'm going to drop it off on my desktop. So I've got this Bernie meme, and I'm going to drag it to my Photoshop. And when you drag images into Photoshop, it can do two things. Let's see. So I'm going to check my layers, and it's a background layer, so I'm going to copy that layer because I don't want it to be a background layer. And I'm going to press Command A and Command Delete on the Mac, and so my background layer is white. Actually, I can just no, cancel that. Okay, my background layer is white. Command D is deselect. So now I have my Bernie Sanders. So in my tools, I'm going to hit Quick Selection Tool, and I'm going to make sure my brush is not too big. And I'm going to start to select and just carefully select around him. Now if you select, okay, so now if you notice, I've selected inside here. So if I get my quick selection tool and hit my option key, it minuses areas. So I can deselect areas. So oops, that's not good. Oops. So I'm going to need a smaller brush to deselect areas, smaller areas. Okay. So I have a pretty good selection. If you see up here, I have to deselect this area here. deselect this area. Okay, so now I have a pretty good selection. Now, to double check my selection, I'm going to go all the way to the bottom icon here and one up, and it's my Edit Mask tool. Now, if you double click the Edit Mask tool, it'll say any selected area is in red. So I'm going to hit my... So all these areas that are red are selected. So if you notice, I have a selection here that I want to get rid of and here that I want to get rid of. So I'm going to zoom in to the area. And if I use my eraser tool and a lower, I'm going to erase, and then I'm going to have to lower my brush some more. Erase. If you hit Shift, it does a straight line while you're doing this. So if you hit Shift, even when you use your brush tool, when you hit Shift, it paints in a straight line. And then there's some areas that I want to so I have a 1 pixel here that I'm so now with my brush tool, so I'm going to brush, I'm going to paint in the areas that I want to select. So I'm just going to clean up these edges. Now the opacity is too low, so I'm going to make the opacity 100%. If you hit spacebar, it allows you to move around your image. So eraser tool is the key command is E. So the key command for eraser tool is E, and so I'm just tightening this edge up a little bit. I'm going to make the hardness a little harder for my brush. and making my brush, just playing with the size of the brush in order to make sure that I don't go over anything that I need to go over. So I'm going to go back to my E, my eraser, go back to B. B is brush. So E is eraser, B is brush. So I'm being very smart about getting all the pieces that I need to. I can always go back to the eraser and clean up that edge. Oops. So I'm hitting the shift key as I'm doing this to make a straight line. Um, his hair is a little wonky, so what you want to do is kind of use a soft brush on the edge of his hair. So make the brush softer by moving it to the left and just kind of touching the edge of his hair like that. I messed up down here. Okay, so this is pretty good. So I'm going to hit the edit mask tool again. So hitting the bottom icon, the second icon from the bottom. I can turn it on and off. And so here I have it selected. So what I could do is hit copy and then create another layer and paste it. So now I have him on its own individual layer. See? So I've got the original layer here. And I can put his name here. So it differentiates. So copy was Command C on a Mac. And I've got that so far. So so now I just have to go to Google, and I'm going to look at I don't know, landscapes. You can look up any image you want, but I'm just going to put him somewhere. So this is 2048, which is pretty good. So I'm going to save image as desktop. And I'm going to drag the image into the file. So when I drag the image into the file, I have to hit I have to right click and hit rasterize layer to be able to do anything with that layer. So right click and then hit rasterize layer. And then I can put Bernie, put the layer below, maybe make this. Now, composition-wise, maybe not putting him in the center is a good thing. I could also crop the image a little bit. So now I've got him kind of sitting in background. Let me show you real quick the difference between the Mac and the PC controls. If you go to the website, let me just go to our website here. Under content, down at the bottom where it says Basic Photoshop Tool Palette, there is this Photoshop Toolbar Shortcuts. If you click on it, it's an article on shortcuts for Photoshop. Right here are your differences between the Command key, the Option key, Delete key, and the Control key for Windows and Mac. So when I say Command, it's actually Control. For Option, it's Alt, and for Backspace, it's Delete, and for Control, it's Right click. So I'm going to copy that, and then I'm going to put it in the going to put it under content here. So difference with I would check out this article, this article on key commands. There are so many great shortcuts here. Okay, so that's our Bernie meme. So please work on your Bernie meme and upload it into the discussion in Blackboard when you're finished. To save a JPEG, you can save your file, save as, on your desktop. And you can save it just as a Photoshop file with layers. I would put it in a folder. So Bernie, and I'd name it Bernie meme as a Photoshop document and save it. Then I would file save as, save on your computer, JPEG. This is what I want you to turn in to Blackboard. So file save as JPEG, and you can keep it at 9, and then there you go. Here's your file. A lot of times what I'll want you to do is, on a Mac, you right click and compress your file to make it a zip. I will figure out the directions on how to make zip files for PCs. I think you can look it up, like how to make a compressed file for PCs. But a lot of times I'll want you to put all your images in a folder and just compress it as a zip file and hand that into Blackboard with your assignments. So anyways, thank you for listening. I hope you have a good week. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks.